Thank you for coming today.
Yeah. Of course.
The famous Ryan. I've heard so much about you. Your reputation precedes you.
Yeah.
You're friends with everybody. You travel the world. You know everybody. And you're sitting here with me.
Hey.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I got lucky. No, it's good to finally meet you. And, Pete and I are good friends, and, the Stoneburners and everybody else. And
you're in the circle of trust.
I'm in the circle of trust,
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of, they don't always trust me with everything, but trust me with enough,
You're teetering in there.
Yeah, I'm teetering in. Hey, I'm here. Let's go.
I don't know about your upbringing, and I wanted to know. So you grew up in Fort Myers.
Born and raised Fort Myers. My parents, my dad was from New York. Mom was from Cape Coral, actually. My mom's
She was born in Cape Coral?
Born in Cape Coral. My grandma was the former city clerk
for
Cape Coral. So she was involved with, when Sunsplash, basically, got put together and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then my dad's parents died when he was young, and they met at University of Florida, but just they met through my dad actually, I think, dated one of her sorority sisters. So I don't think my mom liked him, but then ironically became neighbors, back when my dad opened up his first dental office back in, before I was born on Pine Island.
So you have perfect teeth? Pretty good, yeah.
Decent. You're good. Had braces, didn't really do the retainer.
Yeah, didn't keep up with it.
Yeah, a little shifting a little here and there, but I got pretty good, But yeah, no. So I was born in Fort Myers and went to Canterbury. I was going to go to a public school or private school for high school, like Bishop Rowe or Fort Myers, but because I was traveling for tennis, I ended up getting a scholarship at the University of Florida. So tennis is individual sport. So you're always on the road.
Yeah.
At one point I was 9 weeks in South America at 17.
Wow.
Not safe. For me, what I'm saying? It was fun.
Did you almost get kidnapped?
No, I'm not worried about that. It was just a little too much fun for a 17-year-old kid that all of a sudden realizes what's legal. Didn't really know what didn't know what a Latin woman was. I mean, life was just eye-opening, eye-opening. But loved it. But yeah, went to school there, and then went to University of Florida, and then moved back to Fort Myers and tried an array of things, opened a couple nightclubs, did some stuff with the family, did some different things. And
so you're a local. I'm
a local. I'm a true local.
And so what was it like growing up in the 80s, 90s in Fort Myers then?
I was born in 83.
Same year as me.
I know you've been lying about your birthday for all these years, but at least we had a common. My birthday, I'm June 6th.
June 6th. So you're a couple months older than me.
Yeah. What are you?
September 21st.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, June 6th. And then
coming right up. It's your birthday.
And then my old fake ID just happened. It was March 27th, 1979. Bradley J. Friedman, 3732 Luxley Drive, Marietta, Georgia, 30359. He was an Aries too.
Where'd you get that one from?
He was an Aries. I got it in University of Alabama on a recruiting trip.
Yeah.
And I worked a deal with one of the older guys, and Bradley J. Friedman. What a great guy. He was 6'2".
Definitely
a little better looking than me. Had good abs, but outside of that, those discrepancies, we look the exact same.
You look like a Bradley.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So
you never got it taken away because
what's that?
You look like a Bradley.
I like it. But no, Fort Myers is awesome. I mean, seen it grow and seen Estero grow, and
how's it changed?
Grow, and once again, it's like anything. You're getting more people from up north, and it's funny how you said local. I love hearing people where are you from? Fort Myers.
Yeah.
Where are you from? They've been here for 15 years. It's still a long time, but yeah, there's some locals left.
Yeah.
You Chicago, right?
No, so New York as well.
Okay.
My grandparents all ended up in Queens, so a couple from Columbia, Queens, and then the other one's multi-generational from New York.
Columbia, the country?
Columbia, the country.
There you go. That's the Latin tan. Okay, I got it now.
A little bit.
That's where it comes from. Okay.
Well, I was in the sun yesterday. We were trying to rescue a little dog that was lost in the neighborhood. My little girl,
Billy Madison, puppy has lost its home.
Yeah.
But no, good deal. Shoot, I'm happy to be here. And like I said, talk to me. What you got?
Well, tell me a little bit about growing up with your parents. What were they like? And do you have siblings?
Got one brother, Aaron. He's 6 years younger than me.
Oh, yeah. So you're the oldest. You got oldest energy.
Yeah. He, both of us played every sport. I mean, I played, roller hockey, tennis, basketball, soccer, whatever. And then at 12, you kind of, 11, 12, you got to kind of make that choice.
Narrow it down.
The fact that, I wasn't going to be 6 foot whatever based upon, odds, the fact that I wasn't, the fastest
Got
person.
that too in my family.
Yeah. Different things. Like, luckily, I think my dad from history, my dad was, starting quarterback, starting point guard in basketball, and starting second baseman in baseball. But, he didn't excel in any of them. Like, he was everything, but to go to the next level, like college, it's just, he would have had to pick something, and, with that, tennis, luckily at the time, was the smartest move based upon, where we kind of trajectory, where my body, the good, bad, and difference of what my pros and cons could be. So luckily I picked tennis, and then from 12 on, basically 11 on, only tennis. And I used to drive down here. My parents used to drive me down every day. Every day from Naples to Fort Myers. My mom would go back to get my brother, come back right there. Wiggins past Fode. It wasn't even, it was before it was Tarpon Point. And then now it's, Aqua, and I used to go to Imperial. So I've been, I've got a lot of friends down here in Naples, and, it's great to see.
So you take that route and just takes 40 minutes?
What's that?
40 minutes to get down to there from Fort Myers?
Yeah. I mean, that was back in the day,
No traffic.
No traffic back in the day.
Nice.
But,
not much now, but sometimes.
That Golden Gate, you get caught in that Golden Gate, you're bad. But no, I mean, I love Naples. I mean, literally, I have so many friends that live in Naples. It's like I'm not going to go north of, Pine Ridge. Like, stop. You know what I mean? Like,
there's areas you're in your little
Mercado
zone.
Opens. I'm not going to go north of Mock. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, but no, it's great. I mean, like I said, I got a lot of good friends down here. I love it, and super in tune with, a lot of the stuff going on, personal, business, sports.
Yeah.
And shoot.
And then, so you went to Canterbury, and how did that influence your path? You played tennis there?
Yeah, but high school tennis is kind of like, it's like high school cheerleading.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. It's cool. But if you're going to go be a real cheerleader, you're going to go do competitive, USA South or whatever, or going to go travel, etc. Same thing with tennis. Tennis is just, it's the way coaches and the way things look. It's all based upon the individual tournaments.
Yeah.
Unlike, other team sports, high school matters. Now it's a little bit more traveling. But went to Canterbury. It was great because, even though I went to a super small school, all my friends that I grew up playing other sports with, they ended up, going to a Cypress, a Fort Myers, a Barron Collier, or whatever. In a very crazy way, these schools are so big. I'm always traveling and whatnot. But when I was in town on the weekends, because of Mr. Bradley J. Friedman and my fake ID, I was kind of the one, putting the stuff together, So, my first business, selling cups to high school kids, $5 a cup, 10 if you go to private school. And,
so those early experiences kind of influenced how you developed later on.
Yeah. You buy something for $110 and you sell, 100 cups, turn it to 500,
So you got that entrepreneurial spirit early, and then you turned that into a little bit of gold. Yeah.
I wish I would have been selling like protein or bananas, but you got to sell what you can. And, like I said, keg beer. But honestly, it's just one of those things where the cool thing was on the weekends when I would see people, a lot of the, people I'd meet, like that might've been, let's say 2 years younger than me, that went to Fort Myers or Varro or Cypress. Well, because the campus is so big, they had thought that I go to their school because I'd be tight with their friends or whatever. I would go to all the Varro football games. My parents lived in a neighborhood right behind Varro. So literally, like, my friends want to skip school or whatever, like, because Canterbury's schedules were a little bit different. And it was just, they could literally sneak out the back and just get to Carolina Woods and, skip a couple periods,
Yeah.
So with that, it was cool because I could have my life and worry about tennis and worry about school. And in Canterbury, you meet some freaking amazing people. I mean, amazing people everywhere, but some unbelievable networking families that, I'm still super, super, super close with. And then on the weekends, if you're in town and, you see people you don't see all week. So it's, you don't get sick of people.
Yeah. And then you graduated in 01.
Graduate 01.
Me too.
Yeah. I was young for my class. You were young too then.
Yeah.
I was June
in New York,
birthday driving. You were.
In New York, we can start, I guess, kindergarten if you're born by December.
Yeah, so you weren't driving till your junior year.
Oh, I was really late with the driving.
I was late June, but I mean, I'm sure you had a few guys
no,
driving
in New York,
around,
you have to wait till you're like 18, 17. And then I waited as long as I could. And then I realized, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to want a little freedom.
Yeah. So that's like me. I was late. I had some friends that were already old and they got held back. They were driving in freshman year.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. But I'm sure you had plenty of people willing to give you a ride. So I'm sure you were okay. But yeah, me, yeah, no, like I said, I mean, Canberra's awesome. And like I said, anytime I got a chance, get back down here, I love Naples. And like I said, I listened to a couple of the podcasts. I listened to some things. I saw some people I knew. And, yeah, like I said, it kind of, happy to be here and going to try your little, whatever you got here. Like, what's this little Lalo?
Yeah, Lalo.
Whatever. Wasn't going to drink today.
Sorry.
You're good, honestly.
A bad influence.
No, honestly. I know. When I came in here, you all professionally dressed. I was like, shit, I don't want to be the one freaking bad influence. And you start with this. All you clean cut people, you guys, you give that image, and then all of a sudden, it's
got a little bit of fire in us.
It's like the tailgate. It's like the Derby. I was at the Derby a couple weeks ago, and you're there and you're seeing people that are like, on TV and doing different things. They're just always proper. But then the Derby, them starting at 7 a.m. I'm like, going to wait till 11 to start, 12. Yeah. 7 a.m. pounding. I'm like, wait.
But isn't this kind of like the healthy way to do it, right? Tequila's not so bad.
Yes. I mean, if you keep telling yourself that, you go for it, It's like they always say, if it's in a book, people some people lie, and then some people, they lie for you. They might tell a story that's maybe not.
We're going to have to get a doctor to come on here and tell us about that. Which one's the worst?
Doctor. I mean, shit. I mean, it's like the Hangover, you get a dentist, you get anybody, everyone's a doctor these days,
You a doctor?
No, I'm not. My dad was a dentist. Me, my hands, as you can tell, I'm very good with some things with my hands, I can't put dollars in the Coke machines. I always put the dollar when it comes out, literally. I can't
touch the numbers on a keypad.
That's me because I got fat fingers. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Dollars on Coke machines are tough. They say I'd be a good carnival guy. I got like carny hands, But dollar on Coke machines, and then not good with scissors, not good with crayons. Some things I'm not good at, but some things I'm really good at with my hands, when it comes to holding a tennis racket or a paddle or throwing something, I got pretty good feel. Pop a shot money.
So was it like something that you were born with? That ability?
Not Lady Gaga or anything. Like, I don't think
it's just training, or is it a little bit of both?
I don't think anybody's born with just clumsy hands trying to put dollars in the Coke machine. Like, I think I'm the only person that's ever like, you put a SWOT analysis chart of pros and cons. Like, I mean, I got plenty of cons. I mean, my pros, I think, barely outweigh the cons, but I don't know if the Coke machine thing, how much people read into it, but it's always something, hurts me at night.
Oh.
Trouble to sleep.
So sorry.
It is tough. And then Apple Pay, is very tough because if you crack your phone like I do, because you're freaking on it and it's cracked, you can't always do the Apple Pay. So it's really a pain. Then you got to take it out. And, I remember back in the day on Shark Tank, there was some psycho who had this idea of having a surgery where you put like a Bluetooth in your ear. The shark thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was genius because then you have a Bluetooth.
You would do it? You would volunteer?
Bluetooth and Apple Pay, like always just.
What about the Neuralink?
I don't know. I mean,
if it makes you like a super genius computer brain.
I'm not trying to be smart. I'm more convenient.
So how do you balance the lifestyle that you took from maybe your partying days? Mm-hmm. How do you balance that these days?
I mean, here's the whole thing. Like, I feel like not everybody, but most people that are successful, and successful is a loose term. Everybody can define it differently.
Yeah.
But successful in either sports, successful in friendships, successful in business, successful in, raising families or, just being good people, whatever. Usually you have the ability to lock in,
Yeah.
And same thing with having a good freaking time. And my whole thing is this, right? Like, like if I'm going to go do something, I'm going to do it. I always joke around my best friend, my business partner, he always says, why would I say I'm going to do it if I'm not going to do it? So it's like, look, like my hardest thing is, we're going to go out, we're going to have a great freaking night. Like, I'm not going to regret my time.
Yeah.
Time is like one of the few things we have. It's
your goal. You envision your goal.
I'm going to go out, we're going out. I'm not going to go out and just waste 3.5 hours. I'm either in bed every night, literally by like 9 p.m. Or I'm out till 9 a.m.
You're in bed by 9 p.m.
Or 9 a.m. No, literally. Yeah. So it's like you can pick and choose. And I always joke around, but I'm like, look, if we become friends, if you ever need anything in life, you call me at 8:45 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed up. I've either been up for hours, got up at 5 working, I've been up, or I'm about to go to bed.
Yeah.
9:15 a.m. Don't know. Could be up. I could just be going to bed. That's Eastern time too. So put alarms. You want to put like, some people you have alarms and you
call them at 8:45. I'm going to put that in your phone number.
Just, some people like, you say you're going to call somebody and you put it daily repeat. I have somebody, I've had a daily repeat to call him for 3 years and I haven't called him.
Oh,
it's just funny. And it's just there. I don't think I'm ever going to call him. But if you want to put that 8:45 a.m., you have it. That way, if you're ever in a bind, 8:45 a.m., I'm your guy.
I want to hear about the day in the life. What is it like? We talk, I know a little bit about this, but I think it's important for everyone else to understand this, that you're a madman, and I want you to explain it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, there's a couple different, I mean, Gemini, a lot of people, you hear about them and they have their horoscope, like, oh yeah, you're so that. But most people, it's just, you turn into that person. But I really feel like I kind of do have, split personality, in a pretty decent, interesting way, and, like anything in life, be a good athlete, be a good student, be anything. You got to have that addictive personality, good, bad, and different, Problem with that is sometimes it can go great and it can spiral, But, my day in the life, of course, depends. My real life legacy pro sports, we got over 5,000 NFL football players. So my phone is 1,000, 1,200 texts a day. Luckily, our team, as Pete, building a company, you start off with one person, two people, mom and pop, 5, 10, 15. Then all of a sudden, we got 60 in one side of the company, and then about 17 the other side. So you start getting more delegation, but at the end of the day, you're still on the phone nonstop and you're thinking. So on a business standpoint, usually I'm up early, I'll go play pickleball, I'll get my hour and a half in. And then, I'm kind of, on the phones, 8:39. And, you just kind of, I don't like just to press play, just kind of press play and take time. I hate my friends that, they're sitting there all day at the computer and what are you up to? I'm working. It's like, bro, I'm on your text chain. You're playing fantasy football. Like, it's okay. But I like to go 30 minutes hard, take a little break, hour hard. And, I'm pretty much, every day is like, as everybody always says, it's like always working, but also very flexible too.
Yeah.
And, between pickleball and legacy, we're 250 days a year on the road, between the both.
What's your role at Legacy now?
Me and Brandon still, partners. Brandon founded it. I co-founded it with him. And also we own a mental health facility out in California.
Yeah.
We've seen more NFL football players than, probably anybody in the world. We've got about 10 to 15 guys a month out there, in rehab, but not just like substance rehab, but all angles in life, basically just that adjustment from going from top of the world, to normal life,
Yeah.
And, there's so many, veterans have it, post-war. I'm not trying to compare football and war, but still there's PTSD, there's identity crisis, there's different things with friends, women, et cetera, et cetera. And, child support issues. So this really helps them, reset. And then also, we help, get this disability that'll pay, these guys anywhere from $4,500 up to $22,000 a month. And some of these will go to the rest of their life. So, I mean, you're talking, I'm not a finance guy, but to have guaranteed income coming in at $22,000 a month, with no risk, how much money does one have to have in the bank? Guaranteed, and so for us, I've never been in a locker room on a Sunday, but when we win, that's a freaking damn good feeling to have that freaking FaceTime and yell and scream and, have a drink and, and whatnot. So, it's addicting. Anyone growing up, Pete, you and I were blessed with, 6'8", height. So, we're probably sports fans, whether it's going to be sports or business, do we best what we can. But, this is, every white guy growing up wanted to be Jerry Maguire, but the hardest thing about that is, when guys are current and they're relevant, they're not as appreciative, they're not appreciative of maybe things that they've done, people are doing for them. And it's weird. I was with a big agent this weekend and he was basically saying that one of his guys gets $300 million contract.
Yeah.
But they're more just thinking like, man, can't believe I'm paying you $9 million out of this. Like, can't we just do 2? It's like, no, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And same thing with us. It's like some of our guys are more appreciative of us getting them, $4,500 a month for 90 months, $405,000 than when they got their $8 million contract.
Yeah.
So it's no different than women, when you women are 25 years old, every guy wants to take you at this plate and this bottle, everything's great. But then if 41,
comes along.
Good, you're a little more appreciative of those dinners and things like that, and it's all about relevancy. And that's what I love is I'm getting the better side of these guys. Good, bad, and different. Everyone's got issues in life, stories, but I'm getting kind of the best side.
It sounds like this. So this is a service that sells itself, right? What is the bottleneck? What keeps Legacy from growing to be just billions and billions of dollars or whatever the deal is? How does this all work?
I mean, honestly,
what's the bottleneck?
Literally it's just ourselves,
it's people,
as we've like expanded, hire more people, try to recreate ourselves. Basically, we've legacy is kind of like the flagship, but with that amount of clients in the NFL space, just the database of the fact that if we wanted to go do a mental health facility, we've got the end result. Hypothetically, want to do a business, let's just say, I'm going to make this up, something related to, let's just say, insurance, or jewelry or boats or whatever. It's like we've got all the clients, we've got the end results, but we always just wanted to make sure that our main baby was solid, buttoned up. And of course, there's always going to be little hurdles and hiccups before we took on the next project. And mental health facility was the second one, invested in some little things here and there. And now we've just gotten to veterans, which is basically the same playbook. It's helping guys get what they deserve. The veterans are not getting as much as the NFL players per month, but there's also 10 million more veterans, 100 million. So it's great because, like anything in life, man, like if everybody got what they deserve, there'd be no money left. So
in the NFL, you're going after a fund that the NFLPA created with the veterans. What pool of money are you going after on that?
Government veterans,
VA or something.
And we're not going after the money's sitting in there. The problem is, my best example is I tried to get up my first house, or my second house, first house. My mom did me a favor and bought me the only condo that you could find for $250,000 back in 2006, and short sold it for 41. So they really helped me out there.
Yeah.
Along with that liquor license, they got me a 12% interest. I had to short sell, but love the parents. Luckily, they helped me pull it off. But with that, my first house that I bought for real, that was parents given. And I went in and literally got declined. I had a mortgage broker, a friend of a friend. I wanted to help him out. I get declined, and the amount I was paying based upon income is like, it's not even. I don't even know why I was even having to apply technically.
Yeah.
And I asked the guy, like, bro, I got a decline. He goes, oh yeah, Ryan, we figured out your W-2 income's not high enough. Well, bro, isn't that your job? Like, look, here's my income. Here's what I got. Boom, boom, boom. You dress it up. You turn it in. The same guy could go to the same loan officer with 3 different people. One's going to get what they wanted. One's going to get denied. One might get, oh, you only want X? We'll give you 3X. Same thing with the NFL. It's like it's not that they're not cheating them. There's a process. And the problem is they make the process sound like it's easy. And then guys still have that scar tissue of paying agents and managers and different things. So they're like, oh, I'll do it myself. And then they get declined. And then they think everyone's out to get them, and that's kind of where, similar to my bank story, it's like, but what if I got declined and they said, well, you know what, Rob, you can't apply again for another year. So now I can get a loan a year from now. That house that was X plus 30%, So it's like, that's what the players. So it's really, it's tough, and, like I said, I'm not the most organized person here and there. I'm not going to go sit in the DMV, and wait for 30 minutes, but I'll go wait and hold for 30 minutes for a player, for, an x-ray or something. Now we have people that do it, but it's really weird what you'll do for other people, but you won't do for yourself.
Yeah.
You should probably start working out too.
What motivated you to start this? Like, was there a certain person that you met or people that you met, your friends?
Yeah,
your
it's pretty easy story. I mean, it was founded by my best friend, Brandon Siler, who played 6 years in the NFL, played at the University of Florida. I played tennis. He played football. We were kind of, the odd couple, literally. We both always phones were always dying. So we were always, we shared one phone charger, became good friends randomly at a bar, both trying to get drinks, both trying to get a phone charger, and we just hit it off. And my roommate dropped out of school. He was living on the dorms one night. He passed out at my house. I stayed on, he had this part of the kitchen. I had this part of the couch. I was on this part of the couch. Woke up and I got practice. Boom. And then we just did it for like 17 straight nights. And fast forward, you got a friendship, I
thought you were going to say that he started here, you started there, and you ended up on the same side of the couch. And then it was really best friends from there on out.
It's like that movie Money Talks. Remember Chris Tucker? Like he's in there, the guy's like, he's holding it. But no, but yeah, Brandon played 6 years in the NFL and never been cut. And his best friend was a guy by the name of Javon Belcher, played for Kansas City. They went to a concert, had a little fight with his girlfriend, ended up snapping, shot her 13 times.
Oh no.
She was pregnant 13 times, then went to the facility where they practice, gun in his hand, blood everywhere, standing, and basically the facility on lockdown. Oh no. And basically like, look, I want to talk to my head coach. I want to talk to my linebacker coach. I want to talk to my general manager. I don't know about you. I mean, you guys love each other to death, but if he had a gun and you knew what he just did and he's down here and you're up there, are you coming down? You're going to try to just talk him off it. But imagine like just coaches, these are like family. Yeah. Literally, they came down knowing what happened. And said, look, I want to, I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the most talented. I want to thank you for everything you did for me. Boom, boom. And I did something wrong. And it's my turn. Supposedly, like one of the guys was like, one of the coaches was like, well, what about your daughter? Another daughter. It's like, look, we still figure this out. Cops came around the corner, back. Brandon was on his way to the facility. Him and Javon were best friends.
Yeah.
And it kind of just, in football, when DeMar Hamlin from the Bills had that issue, remember they carried him off the field and canceled the game? Mm-hmm. When that happened on I think it was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it was right around. Mm-hmm. They didn't cancel the game. They literally just X'd Javon Belcher's name out of the program and put Brandon's name in. Oh. And that kind of, that level of just being replaceable like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Brandon was kind of luckily was able to walk away. He was one of those guys who, when he was relevant, still is relevant, but when he was relevant, he, went to the coaches' events, did charity events, hung out with people that are white, black, Spanish, young, old, doesn't matter. Like, he was able to really embrace all the surroundings. So, he was going to be okay. Yeah. Which why him knowing there was friends that didn't do that, the ones that, didn't have friends from different races, didn't have understand, that sometimes you have to go above and beyond to, change the narrative, et cetera. So they were the ones struggling to get post-career. Yeah. So had the idea for the company. What guy, I told you, Jerry Maguire, who doesn't want to work with players? It's cool as hell. Like I said, I wasn't really thriving in the nightclub business. Wasn't thriving in my parents' dental business. Only thriving as a financial advisor. So, hey.
Yeah.
It's got some fun. And for me, it's just natural. And sure, Pete, like anybody that's, done some things, there's some days that are freaking pain in the ass. Everybody's got pain in the ass, but, majority of the days it's fun as hell, Doesn't feel like work. And it's going to feel like work here and there, but, it's better. It's fun. I mean, it's
like comes from your soul now that you're helping people.
Helping people and get to freaking hang out with professional athletes. And, not that I'm a huge name dropper, but I don't mind it. And, to be able to say, hey, where are we going to go? Shit, I know this guy.
Yeah.
And they're not just like, hey, I know this guy. It's like, they're happy to see me because I always say, like, you meet people like, oh yeah, he's a great financial advisor. I'm like, well, here's my question for you. Just Joe Schmo. How do you know he's good? Until you're on your deathbed and everything goes where it goes to your kids and everything goes the way it's supposed to go and it flows the right way the estate is planned when they sold you all these deals. Mm-hmm. How do you know how good he is? In our business, the good thing is we're result oriented. So when I see my guys and I go see, I'm flying next week, go see Rob Gronkowski, or to go see, Lance Moore, go see, Javon Curse, whoever. We won $600,000, $700,000, $2.5 million together. So we have at least, we've experienced something, Yeah. And that's the difference when you meet somebody and you go out and drink with somebody you've never met in person, but you won them $2 million. Someone was homeless. Now, you help change their life. I mean, it's addicting.
Yeah.
And it's a bond. I mean, so
that's how you measure success in that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to win, you're going to lose some things. And there are times I feel like we get might make a mistake or, get a bad break on some things, but at the end of the day, like you go watch a football game and team will lose the Super Bowl and on the 1 yard line with the Seahawks and then the Patriots. I mean, it was a wrong call. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Wrong call or right, wrong, and different, you lost. Yeah. And that's the thing with us, at least our business, at least I got result oriented where, I can every day, every week, you look at it and at least the wins are fun. I mean,
talk about legacy for a minute. So how many people are on the team now? Employees?
Well, we got Pure, which is like the mental health facility, separate. It's about 60. Mm-hmm. Legacy, we have the veteran side of the business, which is kind of like 11. And then Legacy's got 17, 18. And then of course we got a lot of independents kind of in there doing different things, some on recruiting, some on, just client relation stuff, I mean, our team, the cool thing about how we built the company is, we've given huge flexibility. This is way before COVID, like always had huge flexibility. And in a very crazy way, my partner, Brandon, I'm a leader, but not to the extent like someone like him, I mean, it's one thing to look the way he looks and be so powerful and whatnot, but you go watch like the documentary Swamp Kings and you see the way we led that Florida team and, got everybody in line. So, for him, it's more just like, look, like, the jobs, do it. It's not a clock, it's not a clock. And, it's, like Bill Belichick says, do your job. And, he's helped make it huge because he's so big into, team meetings. I mean, we and I have never been in a business meeting together, but your personality too, I'm sure, Pete, like, it's like, look, you delegate, but then also certain things like, there's no room for error, a change in a couple things. Some things might give a little flexibility here, but there's certain things, the principles, they got to stay core. And, so to answer your question, legacy, I don't know, 25, 30, kind of intern, but we got a lot of our players. See, our biggest referral source is our players.
Yeah.
Our wives. I mean, one of the ladies that works with us, Maisha Scott, she's got me 95 wives. She was a lady that there was an NFL, Major League Baseball, Wives of Atlanta, kind of like, basically like, former players, girlfriends. And they had a big Facebook group back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
They had a Facebook group too when I was at Florida called Ryan Sherry Social Butterfly, but this one was a little bit better. And basically, you got
to bring that back, by the way.
Got to bring that back. But me wearing a Mike Jones costume. But with that, so she was like very skeptical because here she is, you got all these people that are trying to do what we do. They might have done it longer. Like some of us, our competition, they've been in the business 20 years longer than us. We're charging twice as much. We get to call some of our competition and say, hey, raise your prices. It's okay to be a little lower, but come on, like, let's raise your prices, But with that, once we could make a believer out of her, because her husband is smart as hell, was on Shark Tank, sold his business to Mark Cuban, Damon John. He's the one who had the soul. He put the soul down, had to put the bowling ball. Mm-hmm. Then he ended up not making the deal and then ended up buying all the Foot Solutions and Happy Feet franchises.
Oh, yeah.
Brian's as smart as they get, went to Penn State. Dad's a doctor. He's freaking solid. But lost the orthopedic exam multiple times with multiple surgeries. And I'm just like, it's impossible. The easiest case. But she had lost so many times, basically giving up hope.
Yeah.
We had met. I had to just beg her. Let us do it. Ended up winning from that point forward. Boom, I'm on text messages. Hey, Ryan, meet so-and-so. Ryan, meet so-and-so. And once you're on with the wives, it's like, boom. Now they're all going to be a little skeptical. But since she had the story, I didn't have to sell myself anymore.
Yeah.
Especially being, 95% of our clients probably, African-American. And, they've all been in locker rooms and whatnot. So all of us are pretty cultured, but still, like, when you're talking about money and you're talking about different things, maybe a spiky hair white guy, maybe ain't really ideal, what, different wives want to kind of see and whatnot. So
they're like liaisons.
Yeah. But when you can say, hey, you played for the Bucks in 2015, look, I won for these 37 people. Go call their wives, call me back. So it's kind of made a little bit better where it's not a selling anymore,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it the most fun is, you read about people good, bad, and different on the internet or different things, but then to kind of, see the real side.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing to stay healthy besides Lalo?
As I said, honestly, some things need to change, like anything, but at least to the common eye, I am basically, I probably play pickleball. To the common eye, I probably play pickleball, 5-6 days a week, Yeah. I've been a little hurt. We've got these bunion issues. Like a lot of people in life, they lie about size, in all aspects of life. Well, usually when they lie, they know they're lying. Imagine this, I go in to get some shoes from my buddy, Brian Scott, who bought all these Foot Solutions. He puts me on the thing and he's like, oh, you're, all right, 8.5, 89. I go 8.5. I go, I'm a 10.5. 8.5. I'm a 10.5. Go put my foot down. Right. I go back the other side. I go, can't be right. What are you? He goes 13. 13. So we're magic. So all these years I've been lying about size. I was wearing the wrong size shoes. So because of it, I am really messed up my feet. So got some bunions. So because
do you wear
of that,
like the wide shoes?
I mean, just like I was wearing too big and then too small. And it's just one of those things where because of that, I've had to limit a little bit. So I'm not probably in the best shape right now. With that, you can do some things wrong in life, but it's like you just have more credits than debits. So I like to go have a good time, et cetera. I like to, even though I do have my crazy, I always say 71 hours, is my limit of no sleep. 72, you got a problem, you better go to rehab. 71 is like the magic number, because I always say it's like leg day, if you wake up on a Monday, rock bottom, by the time you get to Thursday, you got to feel better, right?
I need 9 hours.
Yeah, but it's like you got to force yourself. But that's here and there. But on a perfect And, you know, usually like I said, I go do cryo therapy. I'm all in the cold plunges. I'm into saunas. I'm into IVs. So I'm into all that stuff. I just, you know, need to probably eliminate a night or two.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, diet wise, safe to say, I mean, a lot of people, they know what to do. It's just, you know, put less in than, you know, out. But when you're traveling, it's just an easy excuse. Yeah. And I've let the excuse, I've gone with the excuse, you know, and I think part of it from my end has been not being able to do. I used to kind of do it all, but when you're eating or doing things or traveling and whatever, you know, you see random business guys that you look up to at a Houston bar, you know, they're about to go to some big entrepreneur conference. I'm talking about Pete. They're going to some big entrepreneur conference, you know, and you're like, yeah, let's get some wings, you know? Yeah. And all of a sudden you order this, all these appetizers and a salad comes out. You're like, oh, you're only eating salad? I guess it's there for me. So you take this wings and this
pizza on the plane,
but, you know, at the end of the day, even though we are sipping tequila, even though probably not, you know, Brad Pitt Fight Club shape right now, just kind of seeing him again, you know, knowing, you know, like I said, you can have a good time, but you can't do everything wrong. You know, if you're going to have a couple drinks, don't eat pizza, you know, you're going to do, you know.
Balanced.
How do you stay on top of your health though? So are you getting your blood draws? You're doing biomarker checking, any type of stuff like that?
You know, honestly, Pete, it's like one of those things. I have done all the stuff, but I need to get better at the monitoring, like to where, you know, you do it all. And then it's like, okay, because I'm always on the road, because I'm traveling, I'm not as consistent. I'm not getting the benefits. I'm not maximizing. How about that? You know, I'm like a car that, you know, I got 90, you know, I'm using 87 gas and you got a sports car, you know, it's like, I'm not looking to compare myself to a sports car, but you know, it's, you know, I need to do some things, but honestly, like just even seeing you and talking to her and, you know, like I said, it's like, these last couple of weeks have been good when I'm home. When I'm home, I feel good, but I need to get, I mean, shit.
Traveling.
We were on the road. You were in Orlando. You had all your peptides and tests and everything in the fridge there.
Yeah.
So you still doing all that stuff?
Doing it all. The problem is, once again, I'm not the most organized. I was talking with Pam. I got problems putting dollars in a Coke machine that always come out. Like I'm just, you know, traveling, stuff's everywhere. You know, I mean, look at the way I'm sitting right now. I mean, I got everything. I mean, everywhere. It's like, it's hard. You got to be really organized. So, you know,
1983, we have the same thing, the same problem.
Excuse, but honestly, I've got everything. I just need to really do a better, I just need to do a better job of staying on schedule. I think that's everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you make, how much, you know, kids, family.
No, not him though.
What's that?
I said, except for Pete.
No, it's so hard. It's just like, it's so easy to go hit 30 minutes here, 20 minutes here, you know, one less donut, one less pizza. Don't go to Five Guys before you do a podcast. You know,
the carbs are such a problem, but I threw out my shoulder.
Is syrup a carb? I'm kidding. Remember the movie Elf?
Candy corns.
Candy corn? Is this a carb? You got to get those Caltine bars from Regina George and Mean Girls. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. First the weight comes on and then just sucks it all out.
Yeah.
Caltine bars. What are you talking about? This is like a weight gain. It's just wrestling to gain weight.
You always have the good movie connections, and I never understand them. You're always like, you know that movie, and I'm
gotta watch some more movies.
Like,
but you've seen Mean Girls.
I say no.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
Oh, you got it.
Oh, it's so good.
Maybe
you
today.
I'll
ask
Steph to go watch.
You gotta say Bridget Wiener, her dad invented toaster strudel. It's a good entrepreneur.
Even Tina Fey's in the movie, right? She plays a teacher.
She's a pusher.
Wow.
Remember? She's a drug. She's a pusher.
Yeah. In the diary.
Coach Carr hooks up with both Chinese girls.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it all. You
sounds great. I'll watch it.
That's great. Yeah. Stephanie's seen it.
Probably.
No, but
if not, then you guys gotta see that. It's
but you
classic.
know, like you said about health and stuff. I mean, everyone's there ain't a right way to do things. There's certain things should and shouldn't do. But like I think for me, you know, like I say, the more people you're around, like I've been home for a couple of days, and I've seen some friends. Like I say, it's great to see you just randomly and see other people. Like you just kind of when you see other people like that are doing good things. Everyone's got freaking problems. We all got problems, but you know, some people they root against their friends. Some people are jealous. Some people try to one up. But like just I was texting the other day, like it's freaking. I saw the credit line thing. I'm like, awesome. I freaking love it. Or I see Stoneburner. I go see other people, or vice versa. Like, you know, I had so many friends those years. It's like it was competition. It's not competition. Like you want like it's amazing, and life's not all about. I mean, yes, money matters. Different things they matter in life, but it's just a way to keep score. And it's just like you know, it's adding value, and value. Yeah, it can be in a lot of different ways.
It's inspirational, right?
Yeah, like it's
gotta keep the inspirational friends around. So I'm sure you have a lot of them.
Me, health, Pete. Yes, there's the outside health. And usually a guy that's not have 6-pack abs will say it's not about the outside, the inside, but mental health wise, I feel awesome. I feel freaking awesome.
Sounds like a healthy mindset. I like that. Yeah. That's good.
Whatever makes me sleep at night.
Or not.
Or not. Yeah. If you want to stay up 71 hours. How do you see the future of pickleball evolving? And tell us a little bit about these glasses that you have here.
Well, these things, I got them for you. Because like nowadays, the sport's getting so fast. It's almost like when I came back from college, I played a softball league.
Yeah.
And I was always afraid to pitch because, people, they take softball seriously on Tuesday nights. It's their only night out. I was
on a bocce ball league recently, just filling in, and it was intense. I was sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating right now.
I thought it was just going to be fun. And there was so much anxiety.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about anxiety and bocce ball, but I'll go with you. I'll take your word for it.
These 60-year-old to 70-year-old ladies and men, they are intense about it in my neighborhood.
It's like playing the wrong card in spades. Imagine doing that in projects and ain't happy. But literally, no, we were saying, sorry, where were you going at? Health, I lost you there.
Pickleball glasses and
the glasses. Yeah, no, pickleball. I mean, so what's happening right now, the sport's going just, exploding.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was there, very early. I was blessed before all these leagues came in that, I was able to, as a friend, introduce, ESPN, introduce Margaritaville, Put Solutions, a lot of these different things. The documentary just came out where, you've got, when all the celebrities got involved. I'm a huge part of the documentary. Larry
What's
David.
The name of it?
It's called Dream Breaker.
Dream Breaker.
Yeah. And they kind of in a way like almost use me as a narrator a lot of times. And, the cool thing is they show off both sides of me. They show off my fun side, show me in limos throwing ones and pool parties doing this. And they also show me, focusing on my guys. So it's cool because I can be myself,
Yeah.
But with that, with pickleball, it's gone so fast. And then what happens is no different than like the real estate market down here. It's like the people that are long-term invested in here, they're running their race. But then when everyone from out of town comes in and all of a sudden they're driving the prices up, they're creating the bubble. Pickleball, I'm not going to say it's a bubble, but still nobody knows. I told Pete this when he came to me and then introduced me to his team about, getting Chomps involved with pickleball. It's like, look, let me give you all the information. You understand, how you want to spend your money, but let me at least give you the information because no one has it. And then you got to use your business advice that, you have and more experience than me to decide how you want to do it. How do you want to dibble in? Because companies are coming in and they're just throwing money. But are you throwing money into sponsorship, players, events? Are you throwing money into commercials? Like, where are you going? There's no history. You always say history repeats itself. Well, there's no history. So where pickleball to me is going is it is a playing sport. It's a participation sport. People would rather go play pickleball at 12 o'clock on a Saturday than go watch the top 2 players in the world play. Yeah. Not that they don't enjoy that. They're going to go play. They might go watch some highlights. The amount of people when I'm at tournaments that literally, it's kind of weird because at Florida being a tennis player, I was bottom of the totem pole compared to the Tim Tebows, the Joakim Noahs, my partner Brandon Silers, the Ryan Lochte swimmers, whoever. Tennis is lower on the totem pole.
Oh, they were all playing there at the same time.
Yeah. Everyone was at Florida that time. And like amongst the sorority girls, they knew those guys feel first. Amongst the athletes, I was probably one of the most popular people, but amongst like just the Joe Schmo people, those were the faces.
Yeah.
Well, now it's really weird for me even in pickleball where, I haven't been playing that well lately at all, but just a couple of years ago, I won a big tournament and, facing the sport, I was in early and the amount of people that just, oh, Ryan, I love watching you play. Like, I don't know if they were really watching me play. They might've seen like a highlight, a point here, a point there. Yeah. And that's what people want. So, pickleball is not going anywhere. I don't know how the pro game is going to be. I mean, the cream's going to rise to the top. There was a bubble where too many people started to make money they didn't deserve. But once again, like anything in life, the business basically did it. And then now it's going to kind of come back and, it's going to be here for a long haul. And I don't know if you play, but literally nowadays it's going so fast though. You got to have freaking protection. Like, especially at the recreational level, because people don't know where the ball's going and people are losing eyes for real because the paddles are coming quicker. So my buddy who's a big hockey guy, hockey players, they don't give a shit about their teeth, but the mask.
Yeah.
So he basically, no one wants to wear fog goggles. So basically created these glasses that literally, there's no lenses, but they've got the protection. And, at the end of the day, shoot, a lot of things don't look good. A helmet didn't look good when my mom would make me ride one at a
These might look good.
track. But
We'll see.
at least you got something, and sooner or later, it's like racquetball. It's you're gonna be forced to. You're gonna be forced to do
They're
it.
gonna look good. I don't know. You guys let me know.
Yeah.
Got the.
It is what it is.
For the rest of the interview.
Yeah.
Yep. I like them.
Tell
already, I like them.
Like librarian or
eating healthy.
You didn't bring me a pair?
What's that?
You didn't bring me one?
I didn't know you were gonna be here.
No. All right.
I kind of gave you an out. I gave you an out when I was in that text. I said, look, man, hey, don't break your back over. Like, I hope to see you, but if not, no biggie. Because I know that feeling. Like, that's the hardest thing. Is friends
I
that
showed up.
The worst are friends that don't understand. Like,
I can't take a hit. When you said, don't worry about it, doesn't matter. And I'm like, I'll be there.
Yeah. I want to give you out. But the worst are friends that like don't, like they don't understand.
Look at this,
like
guys.
They're in town for a day and they're like,
Still got my eyes.
Let's try it.
yeah, they act like, that like you can't have problems, things going on. Or they're in town and I'm willing to drive 50 minutes. I'm willing to go from like Fort Myers to like Pine Ridge. They're not willing to go from like Fifth Ave to Pine Ridge. It's like, like I've always been one to, I didn't know what I was doing. You messaged, you had a good last name. So, just, whatever. But it was like,
I'm in the circle of trust for him.
yeah.
He's in our circle of trust.
So pickleball, I still can't play. You gave me a paddle. Did you give me? You
No,
gave me
he's
a,
good.
Who's that? Jamie Foxx's paddle or something like that?
Yeah.
All right.
The best paddle.
So I've got it. Yeah, I've got that still. I haven't used it. It's just sitting there.
I kind of lost my taste for pickleball when I played against you and Stephanie when she was
I did play actually.
9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And she beat you?
And they whooped mine and my husband's butt. And I've been bitter ever since.
So if I want to get good at pickleball or start getting like an on ramp, what's the best thing I can do right now?
Help us.
I mean, number one,
We want to be winning.
Number one, you got to just play, make it a routine, you know? And like anything in life, it's like going to the gym, which I don't do, but you do. You want to learn the proper mechanics to an extent. And there's certain things that can change, but there's certain things that just don't change in life. You don't, put ice on before you go run a marathon. You always heat and ice after. There's certain things that are just not up for debate. In pickleball, there's a couple things related to maybe grips, related to a couple things that because maybe whatever your tennis background was or wasn't, just start at the beginning. Because the last thing you want to do is start bad habits. So I would go get a lesson or two, I'll hit with you as a friend, of course, do anything, no different than if I asked you for some business advice, you might help me, but you're like, Ryan, go get an accountant to do this. Go have this. You need to get somebody that's used to working with people that are starting. I'm used to working with people that are already a certain thing, and I might be able to help them 5% as a friend or whatever. But you got to just get the couple mechanics down, and then I can really help you. So you do that maybe twice a week for an hour, literally. Then go play 1 day a week. So play 3 times. It's great social. You meet some good people. The one thing, Pete, you'll really love, especially as you've gone, in your entrepreneur and business career, like as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you realize, how circles got to get smaller because of, the level you're playing in. But at the pickleball court, people drop egos. They all have egos, like on the court. They all think they're good, but they drop egos based on social status. They drop egos based on car you drive, whatever. And it's the only place where literally you could see, like Jamie Foxx, perfect example. He would not be caught dead at a certain restaurant and sitting not in a back room or wherever. But he'll go to the local pickleball park 30 minutes away in Ventura, wait in line, pit his paddle up, take pictures, go play with Susie Homemaker with a knee brace.
Yeah.
And then get back in his life and then go do his thing. Mm-hmm. It's just everybody. And that's where I think as much stress as you have, good, bad, and different, and running things and being around people, enjoying it is going to be number one. Because it's going to be your stress relief, Going to the gym is one thing, but no one wants to talk to me at the gym. It's like when you go on a plane next to me, you put your earphones on. I'm trying to talk to you. You're like, Ryan, earphones are on. It's like the movie
that happened, my bad.
Old School, earmuffs. Just got to say earmuffs. You can say whatever you want, All
right, so tell me between pickleball and paddle, what's going on? Because I hear everybody talking about paddle. I don't know. I hear it's like taking off in Miami and all this now. So what's the deal?
Padel, I believe right now is the biggest racket sport in Europe, especially in Spain. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's expensive because a court's about $100,000 and you can't just go put them anywhere because you got to have certain amount of ceiling length, height. I think it's like 15 feet. There's a lot of specifications. Mm-hmm. Also, it's a lot more skill set. Granted, I hurt myself playing padel because the paddle's a little bigger, but a tennis player that played at a high level is going to be levels better than someone who's like an athlete, playing padel. In pickleball, a tennis player, there's some things I'm going to do better, but there's also some things that are used against you, because on a certain shot in tennis, your whole life might be to do one thing. Now it's the opposite, you know? So other people from different sports, they can kind of compete. But padel is it's bougie. I mean, it's like a F1, right?
Okay.
Like what's the difference between NASCAR and F1? I mean, NASCAR is, you know, I'm not a race car fan, but NASCAR is racing. F1 is just you're just going there. It's a spectacle. Padel is now, you go to the padel courts in Miami here because they're on the water. They're on a floating thing. You're having your martinis and you're having your freaking Veuve Clicquot, whatever it might be, whatever. And you're just there. It's a social gathering.
It's chic.
It's social gathering.
All
and
right.
it's hard though. It's very hard.
I'm going to join that one. I'm doing padel. That sounds, I like
the sound of it.
I like that. F1, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah. You had no clue, but that's, hey, who am I trying to talk? I was just in the Derby, freaking finish line suite, hanging out. So I've been doing my little bouginess too, bro, red carpet. But, you know, I need to get back down to the Bonita dog track. I think it's closed, but.
Yeah, it's close.
Back running. The Bonita dog track.
No.
You know?
God.
What's going on?
It's funny. These things are comfortable.
And speaking of dog track, have you been down there and seen that little Sports of America?
What?
They have that thing at the dog track. You could go kick a field goal for 45 yards. You could throw a pitch. It's all these different sports challenges that you gamble on yourself.
What?
It's really freaking cool. So literally, like, imagine like the Gronkowski field goal for DraftKings or FanDuel. You could go kick a field goal for $35, 35 yards. You can bet what the odds are, and you put it in, and it's on this camera that basically is being watched. And if you make it, boom, you get paid. You could go try to say, okay, there's a baseball thing over there, baseball thing over there. All right, we're gonna go try to throw in this thing. You get 3 tries, and they have like statistics and stuff. It's actually pretty interesting. So no more dog track, no more dog track. Just got poker, degenerates, and Sports for America. So
Still got the degenerates.
that.
Okay.
a little health, a little poker.
Is that like a chain, or is that like
No, it's literally right there.
No.
It's freaking interesting. And I haven't done it yet. I've been there, I've seen it, but I haven't taken the challenge yet. Maybe I'm going to challenge. Maybe, you know, a big challenge.
I want to do that.
It'd be a healthy challenge. Maybe we should go do a healthy challenge.
It's like hammerschlagen. I did that in Minnesota, thinking I could hit the. You ever do that with the pointy hammer?
I don't have good wrists. I don't have good wrists.
Terrible at it. But I lost like $500 in like 2 minutes. It was like in and out. I'm like, I got this, and I kept doubling down, and I lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I used to be good at the pop-a shot until I learned that they're making the balls a little bit. I figured the trick. I didn't realize the balls were so much air. You know, you know what I mean? Like, there's carnival games. I used to love going in my parents' drawers and stealing all their quarters in the game where the quarter thing goes out and you put the quarter in and it pushes. I used to spend like $80 to win the $10 bill. You know, good investment. You know,
we're not talking about healthy anymore. What do you want? Got anything else?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well,
sorry, I went a little.
I appreciate all the time you took out of your busy schedule. I know. And I'm very honored that you came to hang out with us.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, next time I'll come, you know, one thing about me is I'll have a sip or two, but I don't drink and drive. And I don't drink and drive. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Oh, that's good.
Never got a girl pregnant, you know?
Good job.
No heroin. Outside of that, I'll do whatever.
Wow.
And next time I will.
Upstanding citizen.
Next time I'll come, I'll plan ahead of time. I'll Uber. I didn't know, you know, you seem pretty, classy on, pictures and whatnot. So I wasn't expecting
and then
to
forget
alcohol down my throat. So I have a sip. And
to be polite, thank you.
But next time I will Uber here. And if you think you're getting out of here after 45 minutes, good luck. We're going to stay. So
for 3 days,
71 hours.
Well, 71 net hours. So if you go to Vegas, you're looking to stay for 74 hours. It's net.
Okay.
That's the key.
Gotcha.
My other trick though, to get out of these things is, I don't know if you guys, can you sleep on planes?
Not really.
Okay.
Just
So
lay down.
Okay. It's tough,
It's
right?
tough.
They always say
international.
plane sleep. Plane sleep is not real sleep, right? It's not REM sleep, right? But my thing is this, right? Just because I can do something you can't, why should I not be rewarded? I mean, it's a skill, right? So you think 1 hour sleep's only worth 20 minutes of sleep because it's not REM sleep. No, 1 hour on planes is worth 8 hours.
Oh.
So in my mind, you might have one of those rough 71 hour things, but then if I can get that 3 hour back, 24, put in the bank. Key is a lot of times before I go on these things, it's kind of like financials, right? Which can't balance my own checkbook either, but I can balance my sleep schedule. I like to get enough sleep hours in the bank, living off interest. So before I went to the Derby, I had 5 nights where I went 12 hours of sleep. That's 60 hours.
Yeah.
Did a 2.5 hour flight to freaking, to India, I think it was. you know, about 2 hours sleeping. At 16, I'm at 76. And then I had another hour flight. So I'm at like 84 hours divided by, you know, on 6 days. I mean, do the math. I'm at like 12, 13 hours a day. So if I go 2 days no sleep, I'm still like 9 hours average. I bet she was a
I don't know how you do it.
I'm way ahead of you. I'm just living off interest. But then I went 89 hours no sleep.
You're inhuman.
But then I went 89 hours no sleep. I got an overdraft charge. I went a little too much.
All right, you're bragging.
So yeah, that's a complicated schedule there. All of them thinking the whole time you're saying this. Have you ever been to a Diddy freak off? Because it sounds like
What do
like
you
that
know
type of schedule.
about?
Oh man, you know it's God. I used to love.
What do you know about these
I
things,
used to
Ryan?
love freaking Diddy songs. That one, More Money, More Problems. Those outfits, Mace. Those outfits were so good.